Hello and welcome to another recording from our live stream. This is the Java Swing programming show. We're going to be working more on this app engine thing. So let's jump right in. Okay, so let's clean this up nice. Zoom in a little bit. So this is just kind of like the test bits and pieces for the main. So that's not really part of the engine itself. But we're going to be playing about maybe adding sort of scaling to this first off. Let's see what we can do with that. So initially, when I first wrote this out, I was thinking of adding some sort of scaling ability and just didn't really add it at all. So I'm going to kind of add it before it gets too big of a code base, and so it doesn't sort of get out of hand. So first we need to go into the core. Into the core file itself. So this is kind of the main core of the actual engine. So there's a couple of things. I want to be able to actually have some form of scaling. So I need to kind of make like a scale thing to exist. So let's say private double scale equals, let's say 1.0 for now. And then what we can do is we can kind of add that as a thing when we're creating the display. So let's go find create display. See how we got our title, width, and height. Maybe we can add scale to this as well. So now what we can do is we can say, well, okay, I want to add a scale to this overall stuff. So I want kind of the ability to set or get a scale. So I think we'll add like getters and setters to that. So let's have a look. We'll add it down here. So public void set scale. That's going to take in a double. Oops. So it's as simple as this dot scale is equal to scale. And if we want to get the scale, we can do fairly similar. We want to public double get scale. Return this dot scale. Okay, so now we've got a getter and a setter. So let's utilize the setter during our creation of the display. So we're making a window with a width and a height and stuff like that, but we also want to kind of set the actual scale of this display. Okay, so after we've done this display thing, we'll say display dot scale. So which means actually we want to kind of get the scale from this, but we also want an actual Okay, so we're going to want to add scale as well to the display as well, aren't we? So actually, we don't really need it in there. We can have a think. So I want to be setting this actually within the display, really, don't I? So these things can be refactored from our core. So I don't want any core for this instance. So I'm going to take that out for a minute. Let's go to our display. And let's do the scaling in a more sort of meaningful manner. Let's use display to do the scaling. Yeah, I think that'll make more sense, really. So to do, add a scale, funnily enough, that was what I put in right at the beginning, sort of as a thought process. So let's just pop that in there for now. Then what we'll do is whenever we sort of start doing stuff, we need to kind of think about how we're going to draw something. We need to be able to kind of build out this scale along with it. So we're going to have to do a little bit of playing about. So when we're drawing an image, for instance, we still want to do that, but instead of doing the width and the height, we want to do the width times scale and the height times scale. The problem is scale being a double, we'll have to actually go and sort of cast it to an integer first. And then what we can do is we can take this and then use scale as a multiplier. Yeah, we can do that. And same again with the height. This way we actually get to use the scale. Yeah. Now that does mean that we need a set scale and a get scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this straight out of core. We go down here to where we made those set scale and get scale. We can just literally put those out, refactor them into the display. Okay, let's look. We got show, we got draw, create buffer strategy, display. Let's just pop it here for now. Okay, so display's got that. It's going to be moaning about something or other. Let's have a look. What's it moaning about here? What have we got it moaning? Is there an actual error or is it just? Where's it expecting that line? Do I have an extra something somewhere? What's it moaning about? Four errors. Let's have a look. On this one, let's look what we're doing. Did I not put a multiplier? Times. That might help. Okay, I'm pretty sure I did on the other one, right? Yeah. So that's fine. The rest are just warnings. That's fine. Save that. So let's move that out of the way. So we now have this whole concept of scale within our display, but we do need to kind of go back to our core and start building out this whole scaling ability and just adding it to the create display part then. Main's having a moment, but that's fine. Let's have a look. So let's go back up to our create display. Where we're doing our scale. So it's taking in a scale. So what we need to actually do here is, in theory, we need to just set the display scale. So let's say display dot set scale to, I don't know, let's say 2.0 as a change, just so we're changing something. Because at the moment it's standardizing and thinks of it as 1.0. I suppose we could set scale to actual scale rather than giving it a hard coded though. That might be better. And then do it in the, let's see. There we go. That way we're passing the scale and utilizing it. Right. So now we've got this setting of scale done. That's cool. So now we need the screen width to actually be the size divided by scale at this point. So we want int width divided by scale. So when it's like you're balancing out the equation of what it's doing. Is it moaning? What's it moaning about? It doesn't like the idea of that. So is it not happy about the use of scale here? Are both of these doubles? Is it supposed to be a double that's provided anyway? That doesn't really make sense. We do it this way. And then do that. See, it's happy with that. That's fine then. So we need to do the same sort of thing now with the height and scale as well. So we'll cast it to an int. We'll surround this. Divide by scale. There we go. So it's going to balance out when we're doing the actual scaling on the other side of it. So that kind of caters for the scale in that sense. Now we would want to kind of deal with doing the creation. And that's going to be in our main, which is probably why it's moaning. It's sort of expecting us to have some sort of, there we go, one's a scale now. Say 2.0, just for the hell of it. Now if I run it, let's make sure it works still. Wow. Now it's scaled 2 times. How cool is that? Look at that. It's massive. It's just moving straight off the screen really fast. It's just insanely large. Yeah. So it's 2 times scale, whereas the window is still the window, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So that's quite crazy. Let's try like 1.5 times. Can we do that? Is that doable? There we go. We've got a 1.5 times scale now. That's a bit still massive, really. But it works. It means that our things are quite large. Let's go a bit crazy. Let's say like 5 times scale. And see how crazy that goes. Okay. Well, flies off the screen too fast. You can't actually even see it. I don't know where that is. That's just, that's a bit too big. But yeah, so we're fine with that. So let's just put a 1.0 for now, just to keep it at single scale with the sprite size that we've got. So that's single scale. Awesome. So we're able to actually scale all the pixels up. So if we wanted to make more of a retro style, maybe a 3 times pixel size, we could make nice small little sprites out there and just build it up and turn it into a whole sort of more retro style of things. Right, so that's kind of just dealing with the scaling. Another thing what I'll probably want to do is maybe make it so that, you know how we kind of fly off the screen really quick. Maybe we want to kind of limit how the actual updates are doing and stuff. So we'll have like timers. So that'll be our next one. So we'll see you in the next one for that one.